Over the past 24 hours, Bitcoin has seen a strong rally toward the upside. However, it is still underneath the critical trigger at 99,000. Will Bitcoin continue higher, breaking this resistance and sending the entire market upwards, or are we still going to see one more short-term correction? These are questions we're answering and so much more. Let's jump on in. Okay, Mega Whale team, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. In today's video, we are taking a look at the daily, the weekly, and the short-term price action for Bitcoin, discussing the implications of this recent rally toward the upside, what this means for the future of Bitcoin's price action, and even how the total market cap and altcoin market cap are looking. Before we get into it, smash that like button, hit that comment button, and subscribe to the channel. We post daily videos of Bitcoin focusing on the facts, the data, the technical, and the structural information. No hype, no BS, no emotion, pure raw TA. If that is the kind of content you are interested in, join us over on Telegram. This is the first link down below. You'll get access to charts, updates, videos, educational posts, news events, and everything you need to stay in the loop with cryptocurrency, with Bitcoin, and the relevant economic news. And if you were interested in taking your trading to the next level, you can join us in the VIP channel by clicking the pinned comment of the free channel. You'll get access to trade setups with exact entries, exact targets, exact stop losses, trade justification, exclusive analysis, and so much more, including access to our group chats, our general chat, our trading chart and education chat, our daily video, our help, our trade setup, and our news chat. Again, to get access, click the pinned comment, click my name, or these two links for more information. The first being our trading track record spanning back since 2021, and the second link being a 10-minute video showing you inside the channel. Let's go ahead, guys, and jump on in. So as we can see, the last 24 hours of price action has been relatively bullish for Bitcoin. It has been able to push back up to break over and very likely close in 2 minutes time above the leading span A of the Ichimoku cloud. We can see momentum is starting to push back upwards on the daily chart, and on the short-term price action, we have seen a notable breakout of the RSI high of the last retest of the 99k region. So we are beginning to see some strength develop and carry through to these higher timeframes, which could suggest we are actually more likely to see continuations higher than what our historical patterns of particularly the 2023 fractal is suggesting. We're going to be taking a look at both of these scenarios today and really discussing, exactly how these are playing out and which one is more likely now where we have seen a little bit of a move toward the upside. We're also going to be discussing the macro implications on Bitcoin, where we expect Bitcoin to go over the next coming month, and how the total market cap and even the altcoin market has reacted to this recent correction from 108 and is likely to react in the coming weeks and months going forward. Let's start on the market data. 24-hour volume is up 58%. Again, volume in cryptocurrency during this week is still going to be relatively on the low side. We are really expecting the majority of volume to come back at the beginning of next week moving forward. So we do still have this, 5 day range period, or a 3 to 4 day range, where we are expecting to have lower volume, and with that lower volume, it is much easier for the price action to be in these aggressive chop zones with no real clear structural developments forming as we have been seeing. So with a 58% increase in volume, liquidations are also up around the same, 59% at 200 million, with 122 million in short liquidations, which is very surprising, and 86 million in long liquidations over the 24-hour period. Moving over to Bitcoin very briefly, we can see again, we've seen some notable breakouts of that 4-hour RSI. We have also seen the leading span A breakout just briefly And with this uptrend developed over the last 24 hours, we have a very clear diagonal trend line we are watching represented on that 15-minute chart, which we'll come back and discuss in the video today. Moving to the DXY is still aggressively continuing. We were still looking for and still are looking for that 110 to 111 region. It is expected the DXY will continue upwards into the next interest rate decision, where then it will change course. We're watching for continuations at least until the next interest rate decision. Moving over to the S&P 500, still not looking fantastic. A very, very red weekly candle with 22 hours remaining. Again, this is what we would call a reversal signal over here for the S&P 500. What we are seeing here is a failure to essentially sustain above this prior high, marking this as deviation, followed by some strong red candles, indicating a lot of selling occurring at these high points. We are watching for continuations into these lows over here, which, if occurs, we will be marking this as a major reversal point. Remember, the macro trend for the S&P 500 is still bullish. So the macro expectations are still going to be upwards. The only real important thing here is what happens between this prior high that was marked as deviation and these lows established at around November 2024. This is going to be the range of indecision and hopefully accumulation. If we drop out of this range, that is when we enter a stronger high time frame downtrend, and if we break through the range high, that is going to trigger the macro continuation upward. Until then, we are going to be in this consolidation, which is going to be hopefully accumulation, which we cannot decipher as of yet. But we're watching how we react to the range low and the range high to determine the next move, and until then, we are going to be cautiously optimistic within this region, but short-term bearish. Let's move over to Bitcoin, guys. A quick word from today's video sponsor, BitGet, BitUnix, and BingX. If you were interested in trading where I trade and all my members trade, and you'll get 15% lifetime trading fee discounts, which you can build up to 45%. Sign up to BitGet, BitUnix, or BingX, just use one of them with the links down below. It takes about 30 seconds to a minute. All you need is an email address and a password, and bang, you are good to go. We'll play an ad and we'll jump back into the video. If you are looking for a new exchange or just want to support the channel, sign up to BitUnix with the link down below. You'll get a lifetime trading fee discount of 15%, which can build up to 45% based on your trading volume, as well as access to a bonus reward center, and of course, all of the exclusive campaigns we run on this exchange. You'll also get access to BitUnix being a non-KYC exchange, meaning you can sign up from anywhere in the globe without regulations. And most importantly, I only promote exchanges I trust and I use. As you can see, I trade on BitUnix very regularly, being the highest VIP level with over $500 million in trading volume for the last 30 days. And lastly, if you were interested in signing up to our other two exchanges, BingX or BitGet, you can also do that via the links down below. You as well will get the 15% trading fee discount and everything else that comes with it. Go ahead and sign up. Thank you for supporting. Let's jump back in. Okay, legends, let's go ahead and jump into it. And we are taking a look at the total market cap and the total altcoin market cap in the video today, first and foremost, and then moving over to Bitcoin. We will also do a deeper dive specifically for the total altcoin market cap in another video at some point this week on our second channel. So let's start by looking at the total market cap. The total market cap is something we've been looking at over the last few videos for, very important reasons. The total market cap is showing strong similarities to what we saw in 2021, or should I say 2020, moving into 2021 in the breakout of that 2018 all-time high. And that is simply a strong rally post-breakout, which we've seen. Okay, we saw about a 30% rally, followed by a equally as strong correction to either retest or get very close to retesting that 2021 high point, and in this instance, the 2018 high. Followed by then an explosive rally into that next parabolic leg of the altcoin season and the overall bull run. So what we have seen historically is again something now we are seeing play out again. We have seen a strong breakout from that 2021 high point, followed by an equally as strong correction. That correction did not result in a retest or even a break below the 2021 high, followed by now what we are seeing an attempted reversal. If we go down to a smaller time frame on the total, we can see we have established a nice base of support at around that $3 trillion level. Ideally, we want to be holding above this lower level of support at 3 trillion. And while we do so, not only are we sitting above that 2021 high point, but again, we are likely going to see reversals and intercontinuations to new all-time highs. So the total market cap is looking bullish, and while the total market cap looks bullish, the overall macro expectation should be leaning towards the bullish side, no matter what is really happening on that short-term charts. So while we remain above the 2021 high, we will remain macro bullish as we've been saying the entire time. Moving over to the altcoin market, the altcoin market is looking a little different over here. It is looking fantastic. Of course, the altcoin market looks fantastic above 840 billion in a macro sense, but on the short-term sense, we saw a very strong correction from that 2021 high point. That correction spanned around about 2 and a bit weeks, and we saw a correction on average for altcoins of around 30%, some altcoins even dropping 50%. And as we can see here, just as we have on the total market, we have got a very important level of support which lines up almost perfectly, I'm saying almost perfectly, with that 840 billion level, as the lowest point of liquidity of that support is really lining up on that 840 billion. So it comes back to the statement, for altcoins to be bullish, we need to sit above 840 billion, and if we drop below 840 billion, only then can we say the altcoin season is potentially over and we might enter a higher time frame downtrend. Until then, for the altcoin market cap, we can see a very clear downtrend forming over here, and for us to see that next leg up for altcoins, ideally we are going to want to see a break of that downtrending diagonal trend line, which would represent the downtrend we have been in since the retest of that 2021 high has officially ended and the continuation upwards can resume. If we look at the altcoin season, you would know I claimed the altcoin season started back mid-November. Since then, we have seen many altcoins do 500%, some even did 1,000%, some have underperformed and actually gone to new lows, and it is kind of standard 1,000 altcoins, but overall the altcoin market is still up. If we take a look at altcoin season from 2021, we had 3 points of validation. Point number 1, we had local top for Bitcoin, okay, which was simply a largish correction post all-time high rally. We had Bitcoin dominance dropping, and we had the altcoin market break through its yearly resistance. All three initiated altcoin season. In this instance, we had a Bitcoin local top, 108,000 again. We do not expect that to be a macro top. That is a local top like we saw in 2021. Until we get macro top signals, we are assuming it is a local top. We saw Bitcoin dominance decreasing, and we have seen the altcoin market break that yearly resistance. All three validations we look for an altcoin season is still active, and therefore it is safe to assume that this correction we have seen is just a short-term pullback in the broader macro uptrend. Now, all these things can be, of course, invalidated if we do see 840 billion breakdown. But as you can see from the total market cap and the total 3 market cap here, the overall consensus, and I just want to really make this clear, is that while Bitcoin is sitting above that critical level of support at 86,000, there's $86,000 support, the possibilities for a higher time frame correction, which could have significant implications on the macro integrity of the overall trend, is quite low, meaning that while we are sustained above at least 86,000, the risk that we actually break this macro uptrend and print higher time frame reversals is low, and the probability that we actually move towards new highs eventually in 2025 is still the most likely scenario, no matter what happens on these short-term charts. So if we take a look at the short-term price action, particularly starting on the daily chart and the weekly chart, the key level we are watching on the weekly chart is still going to be 98,000. 98,000 is going to be a level if we close on the weekly above. It is likely we will see the total 3 market continue toward the upside. We will see the total 3 market cap break that $1 trillion level, okay, break it that downtrend, and we'll see the total market cap continue toward the upside doing so, which should trigger that next move toward the upside for the broader markets. Ideally, on the daily chart, for us to be confident Bitcoin itself is going to aggressively continue upwards, we still need to see the positive momentum shift. Remember, a green candle in itself is good to see, but it is not enough confirmation to be confident that we are seeing these reversals. As of right now, we still have these highs, these lower highs developing until we break through that 99, that 100, that $98,000 region. The possibility that this recent rally upwards can exhaust is still there. Now, is it likely? Maybe not so now because we're broken above the leading span A, but it is still possible, and that is something we have to be very much aware of. So for us to get strong confirmation we are going to continue high, meaning the probability of a correction is almost nothing, we need to see that RSI break. We need to see the RSI break this trend line. That would indicate a positive momentum shift. If we look at prior scenarios where we saw this occur, the most notable one would be December 2023, right? We had a very similar pattern, bearish divergence, following into a correction into the Ichimoku clouds and leading span A and 50 EMA. We eventually saw a positive momentum shift, the RSI breakout, indicating that the exhaustion developing during this period has been absorbed. We have seen the buyers step back in and the sellers have exhaust, resulted in a strong, right? A strong continuation upwards. This is a pattern we are seeing play out again. Will we see the drop into the 86K region while we sit under the $98,000 region and the RSI downtrend? It is a possibility. It is not a certainty, it is a possibility, right? We have to be aware that that could occur. But if we see the breakout on 98,000, that $100,000 resistance, we see that RSI breakout, that is going to be that strong trigger we need to get that macro continuation upwards. We're looking 115, we're looking 116, we're potentially looking 121,000. In fact, 121,000 would be my next target for Bitcoin. My first target, as you know, I've been macro bullish on Bitcoin since 16.5K. In fact, if we look back at the history of my videos and you go back, we started shorting and we started becoming bearish at Bitcoin at 64,000, right? We had this bearish divergence and we had a lower high right over here. This was our macro top. This is what we call the macro top. We shorted all the way down. We took our initial entries on Bitcoin at $18,000. We took our second entries at 16.5K. We held these positions up into 28,000, where we then sold our entire bag of Bitcoin and rebought at that 200 moving average retest and deviation from the range low at 26,000, holding all the way to 96,000. At 96,000, we sold our Bitcoin, and again, we are looking to re-enter. If we get that confirmation, we are looking for more entries on altcoins instead this time, because we believe, again, with Bitcoin dominance potentially falling and the altcoin total 3 rising, the money is going to be in the altcoin market. However, Bitcoin should continue upwards if we get these confirmations. And our next target after 96,000 was 121,000. And these price targets weren't given a month ago. They were given 2+ years ago. When we were looking at 18K entries, we were talking about macro targets. We did mathematical calculations, which are all on our channel, all on YouTube, of 96,000, 121,000, and 156,000. Now, I do not believe we'll see 156,000. I think 121,000 is a safer bet. Of course, as you know, I exited 96,000, but I think 121,000 is possible for Bitcoin if we do get this pattern turn into accumulation, right? And then turn into absorption. That's what we want to see. We want to see absorption. Okay, we're not seeing that exactly yet. We're seeing some strength show on the daily, but that could be as a result of some news events. I know the IRS, the tax, so I'm not too sure, not too familiar with how it works in America when it comes to taxes of crypto, but I do know they've made some announcement postponing taxes for 2 years in cryptocurrency for the US, and that has really, pushed up Bitcoin a bit because policy stipulates demand, right? So we've seen Bitcoin push up. So it's hard to know for sure if this price action will sustain, particularly while we are under 99,000. So we do have to be a little bit more cautious. But as soon as we see these triggers, we can confirm, well, the selling pressure has been absorbed. Okay, this has turned into accumulation. We are very unlikely going to see those sellers push the price lower, and it's more likely we'll see these continuations into that 121 high, potentially even higher. So that is what we're looking out for, guys. Let's move over to the short-term price action very briefly and wrap up the video. Let's just get rid of all this stuff on the chart. So we've got a fresh chart. Short-term price action. Now, the short-term price action is looking okay. Now, if we're looking at it from a horizontal perspective, this rally here is not enough yet to signify that we are going to see a continuation into new highs, okay? We absolutely need to break above our prior lower high. This is the 99 to 100,000 resistance. This level, we break above this level, and that is going to be a clean shot upwards, okay? The entire market will likely go up, meaning you can basically long nearly any coin, and you most likely will make a profit if Bitcoin does go up to those highs. So that is a key trigger point. Until then, obviously, this is going to be a lower high of that prior high. So we're looking for potential reversals. We are a little bit more cautious on this rally, particularly looking at this 15-minute uptrend. This is going to be a very key level. The 15-minute uptrend represents essentially this uptrend since that $92,000 low, okay? This is the trajectory of the price action since that low point, meaning the Bitcoin will likely continue upwards, okay, into our next level of liquidity, our next level of supply, provided this uptrend sustains. But if we drop below this uptrend, there is a chance we will see a downtrend form, and the price action could push back into these levels of liquidity. How low could it go? It's very hard to say, but it is potential that we could see continuation steeper back towards even that $92,000 region if we break that uptrend. So we have to pay very close attention to that. The overall premise that I'm trying to push, I'm trying to make everyone aware of, is that Bitcoin has seen a good rally. We are seeing, some more high time frame indicators suggest that we are seeing more absorption than what we saw in two days prior. But this rally yet is not really enough to be 100% confident. Now, we are going to see macro continuations across the board immediately, okay? Before we see more short-term pullbacks. And that's something we need to be aware of, okay? Macro, very strong, very probable we'll see continuations. Short-term, looking good, but not quite there yet to be 100% confident. Remember, confirmation is the insurance you pay to be right. So if you're chasing the market like you will be doing now, it is sometimes better to take a step back, wait a little bit, get that confirmation before you make any rash decisions. Thanks for tuning in. Have a fantastic day. We'll make an altcoin video at some point before the end of the week, maybe even today. We'll see. We'll post it, and we'll see you guys later. Cheers.